Hello and thank you for watching this video. My name is Danny. I'm a field technician with SpeedNet Broadband, and we're making this video to demonstrate how to unbox and assemble the outdoor equipment NR610. This equipment is designed to go outside your house, on top of the roof or on the ground, whichever is suitable depending on your situation. I'll go ahead and give you a demonstration on how to unbox and assemble this, needing just a couple of tools, a pocket knife, a flathead, and a Phillips screwdriver. It's all the tools you need to assemble this one. So let me go ahead and dive into this equipment's specification in just a minute. I'll cover some of the housekeeping stuff about this equipment. It's been packaged and it's been prepared to work on your particular address. When we are sending this equipment, somebody has unboxed this device and has prepared it, put the cable, tested the cable connections, everything. So when you get this equipment, you literally have nothing much to do but to assemble it and mount it. Remember, when you are mounting this equipment, and if your house is covered with a metal roof or metal structure, try to install it a few feet or at least a feet above the roof line. If you cannot do that, find a spot where there's not going to be much of an interference. You can test it on which side of the house you want it and where the speeds are getting, because the equipment is ready to go, so you can see which side works the best and then mount it accordingly. There is cable inside this one. It's connected, and it's connected to the power over Ethernet switch and the antenna. I'm gonna go over that in just a minute, but everything has been prepared and everything is ready to be installed, so there is not much for you to do. It's also activated, so no taking out the card from the chip from the device and doing all that. It's just going to make the job difficult. So our intent over here is to make it easy, so just keep that in mind. So let me go ahead and do a assembly of this equipment, and I'll show you how to do that. Sometimes we don't get an opportunity to put padding on top of this device. Let's get this camera down here. Okay, so on this box over here, we're gonna have padding on top. In some situations, if we are sending them an extra router or something, then there may not be enough space available. In that situation, please, when you are cutting through the box, be careful. There may be cable ride on top of this box. We made it box just big enough so we can ship it to you at an economical price and faster, and still have everything fit into the same box. So I'm gonna do an unboxing. I'm gonna get my knife and I'm just gonna gently go ahead and cut the tape. So over here, just cut the tape like this. On the side, you're okay to use the knife, perfectly okay to do that. And the box is gonna open. As you can see, the padding to cover everything we have here. We have this ring that comes in it. This ring, I'll show you how to use that in a second. And this is where all the cabling is. So about 40 feet, 49 feet of cable is what you're gonna get with every single unit. So that should be sufficient to install a standard job. If you ever require more cable, just reach out to us. We have plenty of patch cords. We call this the patch cords available to help you out. So we have this. Then you can go ahead and gently turn the finger in here, take the antenna out, and remove this. Now, something I want to cover over here on this part over here is there are two ports here. One of the port has the LAN cable going into it, and this is the port we have already connected the cable, and this cable is going to go into this power over Ethernet switch. Basically, this is the device that's going to power the antenna. Over here, please note, sometimes we may make, if we make a mistake, and remember there's a rubber thing over here. Let me just take it out and show you. This thing has power that goes into it. You don't require that because we are giving you a different type of setup. However, if this place is not securely closed, we may have an incident where water gets into it or moisture gets into it somehow and damage the equipment. So we want to protect it at all cost. And for that reason, we usually try to make sure that there's a cap here. It looks like this. It literally looks like this. We just had to insert it and then tighten the hole. If we forget to install that, all you have to do is unscrew it, put that thing on there. You'll find that in the kit over there, and tighten it, just to make sure, you know, we are all trying to do the same thing to make sure you have uninterrupted service, the device stays at your house the longest time before 6G comes out or whatever. So this is tight now, and that's good. This one we already taken care of. It's done. You don't have to open nothing here. It's ready for you to use at this time as soon as you get it. Okay, there is, so like I was saying, there is going to be a PoE switch that's going to come through it in it, and in the kit you will also find this adapter where you can power the unit. So as you can see, this and this, all you have to do is plug that thing in here, and this is ready. And then on the antenna, you will also, we zip tie this, you can take that out once you get it. And on the antenna, you'll see two ports over here on the PoE switch. One is a PoE and another one is a lane port. The cable that comes from the antenna goes to the PoE switch, which is this port over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the PoE switch, and the other one goes to your router, which is the lane port. Remember, when you plug this thing in, you want to plug this thing into a wall and not a surge protector. Once you add a surge protector to it, the antenna doesn't get enough power and it starts to act up. So do not use a surge protector. Put this thing directly into the wall, and at this point we are ready to assemble this. Okay, everything is basically ready on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out what I need here to finish this, all the assemblies. It's gonna come with an Ethernet cord which you can use to connect your router with, but that's all there in this box over here. Don't throw this box, please save the box. We also send a backup chip in this equipment. And actually on this equipment we do not send any backup, so there is nothing else there in this particular box. You can put that on the side, but you know, you can keep it just in case if nothing works out, you want to send it back to us, then you know, we want the equipment in the same box. All right, so over here you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. There's going to be a plate, one of this plate that has 4 holes. As you can see, there is an additional hole on one of the ones on the top over here, which basically will align with this. So the double hole goes on the top left hand side and it's going to fit just like that. Okay, and then we have 4 screws. Like I said, you don't need any additional tools, so that's my screwdriver. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the 4 screws, and go 1. Do not use a power tool, guys. If you use a power tool, you might just go too deep into the casing and damage the equipment. Just use hand tools. This is all you need. This doesn't require a drill or a power tool. Please do not do that. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You do not require a technician to come out to install this thing and charge you extra for this. This is something our customers are installing on a daily basis and are hearing nothing back. In fact, our ratio of this equipment getting to a customer and then them returning it because it did not work out is 0. Anybody who's getting this one, they're keeping it. So far we have shipped out well over 600, 700 of these particular same units to our customers, so they're having good luck with it. Before we used to do 4G, but now this 5G, so we're rapidly catching up to it. The supply chain on these devices is also not so good, so we usually get these devices and then they are gone within days. So just to be aware, if you order one of these or ask for one of these, you know, sometimes you may have in stock, sometimes you're gonna have to wait a little bit, but not too long. All right, so we got this 4 screws here. This thing is mounted pretty good. Now this particular piece over here could go several different ways. It's got four holes over here. If you just want to do a wall mount, you can just put 4 screws on this one, and then there is a screw on top of it which will go over here on the antenna on top of it. There you go. It fits right in just like that, and there's, as you can see, there's a screw here. You just put a screw in to this one and this thing is mount ready. Now let me put the screw in here and I'll go over what you'll do next. So you will put this thing first in case you are doing a mount where you're mounting it on a pole or some type of pole already existing on your house, on top of your house, or something you already installed. The mount is not going to come with the mount. The box is not going to come with any kind of mount because we don't have any room in the box to put any kind of mount. But this can go on wall or anything existing already there, like a DirecTV, Dish Network, Usenet, Viasat mount. You can use their mount, and you don't have to make any additional holes. So if you were to put it on the roof on a mount that already exists, all you have to do is put a ring on this mount and tighten that. That's all you got to do. I'll go ahead and show that in a second, but before, let me show you how you can do a wall mount. You see the screw that I just put in there? You don't have to put this screw. If you decide you want to do a wall mount, don't put the screw in there. Take this plate out. If you decided to put it on a wall, this can simply go against a wall like this, and you can put the screws on it first, and then you can come back and put this device on top of it and put the screw on. So that's how you can do a wall mount. If you want to do a pole mount, I'm gonna go over that in just a second. And again, this is really self-explanatory. You really don't need an instruction video or a technician to show you how to do that, but I'm just gonna cover that for you here in this video. So kind of went over everything and kind of trying to make this thing easy for you. I'm just going to use an extra hand over here. There you go. So tighten this, and next you're going to need is a flat head to put this ring on this mount. So as you can see, it requires this flat head. So first I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. And if you want to use a power tool to tighten this piece is fine as a ring, but again I just prefer you use a non-power tool and kind of be done with it. So now all you're gonna do is you put this ring inside the mount. You can put it however you like. There's two holes here. First one, it goes into the first hole, and then it comes out from the other side, and again it's gonna go inside the other ring. And there you have it. Now as you can see, this thing is in the ring. Now all I'm gonna do is tighten this. There you go. So now it grabbed the mount. Now you can tighten it according to how you want it, but what you want to do first, you want to put it into the mount. You want to install it and see how much room, how much of a room you have. In my case, I got plenty of room, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this mount a little bit smaller first before I go ahead and try to put it on the antenna. So just gonna take my time to do it. We made the attempt to make sure that you don't have to do more than just mounting the antenna. This is omnidirectional equipment. It doesn't require, it's not directional. It is not required to mount this equipment and point it in a certain direction. That's really not going to help. What's important is to install it on the right side of the house if you are not installing it above the roof line. If it's not above the roof line, then at least try to make sure that it's on one of the side of the house that gets the best signal. And kind of want to make sure that it's up and running before you mount it. Okay, you don't want to go ahead and mount it and then expect it to work. If there is anything wrong while the equipment was shipped to you and something went wrong, chances are the equipment is not going to go online. If the equipment is not going online, you should contact us and try to get a replacement of this equipment instead of trying to install this on top of your roof, because we only want you to get up there one time, put it up there, tighten it, button down, bring back, and you're done. So I went ahead and made this thing as small as I can. Looks like I can still use some extra room here because my mount isn't that big. So, you know, if you had a Viasat or HughesNet or a DirecTV dish on top of your house, chances are you're gonna have to make this thing smaller quite a bit, which I am also doing the same thing. This is one of the DirecTV mount. So now this thing has got teeth, so once you tighten it, it's gonna grab the teeth and this thing is not gonna move. So again, make sure guys not to install this equipment on a place where water is directly going to fall on it, kind of like on a ridge line where the water comes when it rains and goes directly on the equipment. That might not be a best place to install it. You could send us some pictures of where you're planning to install, and our technicians will suggest the best part you can install easily, and if any help is needed on that, they are definitely there to help you out and make your job easy. But this is something that doesn't require a technician to go out and install for you and charge you hundreds of dollars. Even if you can find somebody locally, it's just there is no need to, unless you are not able to do something like that. So as you can see, it's mounted, secured, tightened, and nothing else to be done. You can leave when you're tagging the cable. You could try to make an extra loop here. We call this a service loop, in case if we ever need to change something, then that service loop gives us enough room to remove the equipment. So you want to kind of have like a small ring of wire and just, you know, zip tie that over here, and then you can take the cable inside the house and connect it to your router, and you're done. This is all is needed to install this type of equipment. Just make sure not to open anything. Don't unscrew any of the screws on the bottom except the one that I just mentioned you. These screws over here are tight. Make sure this one is tight. Make sure there's a small cap over here. If it's not there, it's going to be in your kit. We try to make sure we cap this thing before we send it to you so you don't have to touch it. But sometimes human errors can happen and we may forget. If we do, just put this cap back on and you know your equipment is weather protected and sealed really well. That's it, guys. Pretty much that covers everything about the installation on this particular equipment. If you have any other questions besides the one that I just showed you and I did not cover in this video, contact us on 512-535-1293. Thank you.